I graduated with an engineering degree. I fooled them all.
Because she's a real phony. Because she honestly believes all this phony junk that she believes. I mean it.
Yeah, no, we're like friends, I guess.
I don't know. Friends?
I guess we're collaborators.
To you. It's to you.
To you. So
right,
this is the start of it now.
Yeah,
now we're starting. We're beginning.
This is the beginning.
At the end.
Alright, I'm gonna open mine. My Starburst.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good beginning of class, if you ask me.
Is this it?
Welcome, students.
Are we in the right class?
Are we in the? I don't know. I don't know how to work any of this, so you know.
So we're just gonna dive into it.
Yeah. Welcome to AP Film, losers.
Good job by the film school professionals.
Yeah, that's us. Clearly not, your typical professors, but we're film school professionals regardless of our lack of film school credentials.
Yeah, we're legit, and you can't tell us otherwise, so it's just that.
Yeah. So take that. I'm going to eat this Starburst the whole time, just because I can.
Just for the professors, and that's what we're allowed to do.
Yeah. That's that. I remember when I was in school, the professor could literally do whatever the hell they wanted.
And now we've taken it into ourselves to do exactly that as a vendetta for professors who would do whatever the fuck they wanted.
Vendetta. I just watched V for Vendetta. It's kind of what's going on in the current climate. It's really...
The current political, social climate, yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's a relevant movie at the times, definitely.
We should add that to our syllabus.
We will, but not in front of the students. We can't tell them that. Spoil it for them.
Well,
well, now you know. Expected.
Now you know. Malu, who the heck are you?
Okay, well, thank you for saying my name. I'm Malu. I'm Malu Mirones. I am a college student, and my parents wouldn't let me go to film school, so I decided to make my own with Katie.
Yeah.
And Katie, who are you?
Well, kind of in the same boat there, except I'm not a college student anymore, but I did not my parents wouldn't let me go to film school either, so here we are. I'm suddenly, all of a sudden, a new college grad, and I am my producers say I get to say I'm an award-winning filmmaker now, because technically I was part of a wonderful team that made a wonderful film who did win an award. So that's that.
What was the name of this film?
That film was called Sankofa. Everyone should go watch it.
Yeah.
I can't provide a link yet, but at some point there will be one. But anyway, yes. But I have also just recently released my very own, written and directed by Katie Kametz film called Same Time Tomorrow.
Yes.
So you can go check that out later. But anyway, that's me, filmmaker, currently a software engineer, and we're gonna get to that first part of what my introduction was very soon. So in life, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a very, very, very long way of explaining who I am, but we're out here, so.
It's fine. You're the professor. You have a right to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, exactly. You know what?
If you want to waste time,
I'm gonna eat another Starburst to that.
Yeah, another Starburst.
Yeah.
Tragically, Katie's eating Starburst by herself because we are in different countries at the time.
It's good to point out.
Yeah. Katie's currently in the United States of the Americas. I am in Panama.
Yes. Tell us about Panama. What is going on there? Because it's a shit show over here, baby.
It's kind of a shit show here too, but with warmer climate and a lot more humidity.
What?
And in Spanish.
You guys have
it's a shit show in Spanish.
Humidity? Hey, that's a better shit show, though.
You're correct.
Spanish is much prettier than my bullshit English, so it's okay.
I love that my bullshit English.
Yeah, wait, you guys have a more humid climate than here, but which I am also on the East Coast, by the way, right now.
Extremely humid climate. Like, maybe I haven't been to, like, the more humid parts of the States, but as far as, like, the Pennsylvania area, like, at Villanova, people would tell me, like, oh, it's such a humid day, and I was like, what? This is nothing. Compared to the hardships of a tropical country in the middle of the equator.
Malu said, "Have you been to the tropics? You wouldn't
survive a day in the tropics.
You don't know what it's like. You don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking
Teen
about.
angst.
Yeah.
But anyways, welcome to our class.
And this is our class.
We're legit,
Yeah, as was stated.
and you can't prove us otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, what the two of us are doing here is...
Please tell.
Yeah, thank you. I'll explain our syllabus. You don't have it in front of you because we didn't have a printer to print it with.
Or email.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm talking to, but someone will be
We don't have
listening
your
at some
emails,
point.
so...
You know?
But pretty much what we're doing is talking about film because we love film. And we're just going to have a small syllabus with different sections of whatever we're talking about and the movies that fit under those sections. For example, your first week in class, your first weeks in class, actually, we're going to be talking about cult classics because cult movies are fantastic.
Not only are they fantastic, but all you people just want to pretend to be cool when you talk about movies, and there's no better way to pretend to be cool and know what you're talking about movies than when you're talking about cult classics.
That is exactly it. Katie has just
or
laid
Tarantino
down
movies.
facts.
Yeah, that's that. We'll teach you how to pretend to be cool, because that's all we know how to do too.
Who knew film school could make you so cool?
Not me. Didn't go.
Wasn't allowed in.
I was denied. Just kidding. I wasn't denied.
But
I probably would have been. Didn't apply.
There's always grad school.
But anyways, so our very first film, because what better way to hit this show on the
Fantastic
road?
genre, yeah.
Hit this show on the road. It's a Rocky Road. We're doing Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That is correct. That was beautiful.
Gabe?
I like that.
Thank you. Gabe, hit the trailer.
You've seen all kinds of movies, but you've never seen anything like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show is wonderfully weird.
I'm your new commander. You now are my prisoner.
They're probably foreigners with ways different than our own.
It's fabulously freaky.
Your mind goes bang. Your heart pumping, blood will sing.
It's a trip to transsexual Transylvania.
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'm transsexual Transylvania.
The story is strange.
But tonight is the night that my beautiful creature is destined to be born!
The songs are super.
Science fiction.
The scenery is smashing. The cast is completely crazy.
This isn't the Junior Chamber of Commerce, Brad.
There's a mad scientist named Frank N. Furter.
Come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
And Rocky, his incredible creature.
I knew he was in with a bad crowd, but it was worse than I imagined.
A sinister servant named Riffraff.
I remember doing the time warp.
And Brad and Janet.
My name's Brad Majors.
Just a couple of clean-cut kids.
This is my fiancée, Janet Weiss.
Touch it, touch it, touch it, touch me. I wanna be dirty.
Eddie. Magenta.
When shall we return to Transylvania, huh?
Columbia. Dr. Scott.
Great Scott!
So give yourself over to absolute pleasure.
Don't you
see the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That was cool. I just totally produced her what to do.
I just totally passed responsibility to someone.
Yeah. Ooh, my college career in a nutshell.
You can put this under like management experience. Just like I gave orders to an editor and told them what to put in the thing.
Do you think
I
won't?
organized that.
Hey, I'm already writing it down now.
Ooh.
All right. So, this is the first time I have watched this movie, but Malu over here is the expert. So I'm going to pass the torch to her. Tell us a little bit about what is this movie? Who's in it? Who's it directed by? Why is it important? What is it? I don't know.
Does anyone know? Okay, so this crazy ride of a movie, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It is a 1975 British-American musical comedy horror film directed by Jim Sharman, and also written by our man Jim Sharman and Richard O'Brien. Richard O'Brien,
Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, Jimmy Jam. Richard O'Brien was the writer for the 1973 stage musical, The Rocky Horror Show, in which the movie's inspired on and fully based on. He wrote the book, the lyrics, and the music. So, a clap for our man. He's also in the movie. He plays Riff Raff. Cool dude.
Man can do it all.
Truly, you can't get a man like that these days.
No, you can't.
Starring in this movie, besides obviously Richard O'Brien, is Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter, and he also played the original Frankenfurter in the first stage production. So kudos to Tim Curry for being an absolute icon. Susan Sarandon, did I say that correctly? I feel like I said it wrong. Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, okay.
My gal.
Susan Sarandon, her super gal, as Janet Weiss. And last but not least, Barry Bostwick as Brad Majors. Obviously, there's more people in the movie, but these are kind of like the three main characters. And yeah, it's an insane ride of a movie. Ups and downs all around. There's a point where you really don't know what's going on, but it is a beautiful film. And yeah, it was a great impact in the 70s, mainly because of its themes about sexual liberation, and just overall enjoyment of sex. And
yeah, sex.
Yeah, that's right. And it's very openness to just like fluidity as far as like what you wear. Tim Curry plays a transvestite in the film. So there's a lot of themes about that, which really resonated with people back in the day. This is considered probably the biggest cult movie ever, mainly because when it did come out in 1975, it wasn't that, like widely accepted, especially in like normal showtimes. So it became a midnight movie, which has meant that like small theaters would play it at midnight. And then it started gathering this great cult following of young people who would come into the theaters at midnight and just make a night of it. They would dress up as the characters. And by the time that they've seen the movie a few times, they started learning the lines and learning the dance for like the time warp. And even introducing their own little lines and quips here and there in like the silent bits of the movie. And then it just kind of exploded from there, where people started noticing that it was this cult phenomenon that was happening and gathering this just insane community of people who share a love for this beautiful, strange film.
See why I passed the mic to her. That was beautiful.
What can I say? A communications student. I communicate.
And for all of you who were thinking, oh my god, wait, I saw that in Perks of a Wallflower. Perks of being a Wallflower. Like, yes, indeed, that happened in real life.
Yes.
For this
people
whole
do
time.
That. One of the ways
Before
that
you were conceived.
One of the ways that people watch this movie is exactly like that. People play the film, and then they'll reenact the events of the film right in front of it, or they'll just watch the film, or a third option is just the stage production was just as fun. I can guarantee. Oh,
I would love to see it. Also, I asked my mom about this when I told her that this was going to be like our first thing that we're doing and whatnot. And she was like, "Oh my, I don't think she said that she went. I'm pretty sure she didn't go because she was too young for a time. I mean, it happened though all the time. Or she did go once. Maybe she went once to like one of the midnight shows. But she said how like it was just wild and fun, and like everybody just was so into it. Like it was just such a like a fad. Like it's such a thing to do and go to and whatnot. And it just seems So cool. So yeah, it is as cool and fun as Perks makes it seem.
Oh yeah, it's a tight community. I had the chance to go like 3 times when they put up the stage production here in Panama. And one of the times I went to the midnight show, which was so much fun. Like, it wasn't the movie, but it was very similar. It's a very similar experience to the movie. But instead it's just like a full-on stage production. So there's artistic liberties as far as like what the actors are doing and how they're saying the lines.
sure.
And obviously it was in Spanish, which I thought was going to change the experience. But Rocky Horror is such like a powerhouse of energy and just awesomeness that it didn't, like, the language barrier didn't matter. It was just as fun, just as hilarious, just as just an amazing experience.
That's awesome, and I really like what you said with the energy. When I was watching it, or when you will watch it, the energy in it is insane. And, like, to think about that, like, being a regular, like, stage show, and for those actors to have to do that, like, twice a day, that's insane. I don't know how anyone could do that. I mean, the music, though, is so freaking good that it's almost like, all right, you know what? I'll do the time warp any time of day too. But it's like, oh my god, it's wow.
Yeah, and it's so easy to be part of it, you know, like, especially with the music and the time warp. I feel like it's very easy to get into the time warp because it literally tells you what to do. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, I would highly suggest watching it because we're definitely gonna spoil the hell out of it. Like, just getting that out there.
Yeah, it was your homework that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
Pause this right now, go watch it. You dumb loser, film nerd wannabe.
I love being able to talk to students this way. Fuck. Liberating.
Yeah. Tell 'em. You're liberated. It's Rocky, baby.
But yeah, as I was saying, if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. Go dance the time warp because it's so easy to dance. It's just a jump to the left.
Jump to the right. I think that's
See,
not it. All right,
you're supposed to lead. You're supposed to be the example. You were the chosen one.
Well, I was called in last minute, Malu. God.
It's a step to the right. God.
Step to the right. Okay, I was that close.
No, and when you're jumping and when you're stepping, you know, those are completely different movements.
All right. Well, I only followed the dance. I didn't direct it. Okay.
You know what? It's fine.
Right.
I'll let it slide because Katie is what the Rocky Horror fandom would usually call a virgin of the show. In this case, the word virgin is used freely every time a person is taken for the first time to the Rocky show or introduced to the movie for the first time. So you're officially not it anymore, but you were for a very long period of time. So.
I was a virgin for a very long time. You're right. You're right. You got me. Shit.
How did you know?
I don't know. Damn. Exposed. Speaking of exposed.
Oh, okay.
Frank, the Frankenstein dude. What's his name?
Frankenfurter.
Oh, okay. That is okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's very much like homage to, you know, horror and it's a homage to B horrors and then also to just like the originators of the horror genre.
Right. Exactly. I get that. He's hot as hell.
Wait. Are you talking about the monster or
yes,
the debate of the ages? No, that's Rocky.
The monster. Yeah. Oh
no, the monster is Rocky.
That's what I meant. Yeah, Rocky. Rocky's hot as shit.
Yeah,
he's ripped. I want to know what his daily life was before that movie. Just out of curiosity. Like, did he have to eat like 3,000 calories of mostly just protein and just, you know, work out for 3 months before? Oh my god.
Who knows? You know, an actual fun fact about our dude Rocky.
Give it to me.
A very fun technical fact about the film, the making of the film, the making of the character Rocky. Because he is, you know, a monster created and brought to life by Frankenfurter, he doesn't have a belly button because he doesn't have an umbilical cord. So, yeah, that's right. So the production team had to come up with a way of putting this little, like, it wasn't clay. It was a very similar, like, material to clay, though, like a very, I think it was silicone, maybe. And they had to figure out one that could go into his belly button so that they would cover it up with makeup. And you don't notice it in the movie because it's such a minor detail. But I found it while, like, researching the movie, and I just thought it was so amazing that someone went through the process of thinking, if he's a creation brought to life exclusively for and by Frankenfurter, he wouldn't have an like there's no umbilical cord, therefore there's no belly button. So we gotta unbelly button this boy.
Right.
And they did.
This boy.
And they did.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, next time you watch the movie, look out for the lack of belly button in
No, I
Rocky.
will, because I'm kind of astounded that I didn't notice that.
I know, right?
Like, what's up with that? Okay, do you remember way back when on ABC Family, there was like a it was called like Kyle XY, and it was all about that he was an alien because he didn't have a belly button.
No,
Do you
never
not
heard
know
of
this?
this. Jesus.
I don't know what the hell I was watching on ABC Family, but I remember seeing those commercials come up, and it was when I was a kid, and I was like obsessed with aliens and UFOs because I was a nerd and I was weird, but they're cool, okay? And so I remember seeing this, I'm like, dang, I gotta watch that. That looks crazy, and I'm glad I didn't. But like when you see the commercials, which is my point, it's very obvious he doesn't have a belly button. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, why didn't I notice this? I don't understand.
Crazy. I do not know these commercials, but I'll definitely look them up.
Oh yeah, Kyle XY. That's what it's called. It's so fucking dumb.
Katie,
but anyway,
if you love aliens so much, I would like to know, as a Rocky virgin, how did you feel about the inclusion of aliens from the galaxy of transsexual and the planet Transylvania? I think it's I maybe got it backwards. Oh, I'm such a fake fan.
Yeah, you're fake.
I've seen this movie so many times, and now I'm getting it confused while recording. Embarrassing. Yeah, what did you think about the aliens?
That was a hilarious twist. I laughed really hard. I thought that was great, but it was also a very big political statement, because I laughed at first because I'm like, haha, that's funny. But also I thought that was just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't know how deep I'm supposed to look into things, so I always look into it extreme. Because as a filmmaker, everything I do, write, and say has meaning to it. Like, I'm trying to say things with it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, with that one, I was like, all right, surface level as a joke, I think that's really funny, but much deeper than that, this is how everybody felt about them for so long. Like, people who were, like, you know, considered trans and whatnot, or
just,
you know,
like, overall
all that.
LGBTQ plus community felt like that, yeah.
Exactly. And so I think they, not only did they feel like that, but I think most importantly, like, they were treated as that.
Yeah.
And so, especially so, not only was it, like, included in the sense of, like, oh, look, we're aliens from this, like, just, like, the dialogue, but also the action that followed that was, like, them shooting him and Frank and taking him away and stuff like that, and they're gone and then disappeared. I think that was, like, to me, I thought it was a really, really heavy ending.
Yeah.
I think as the story continues, it gets heavier and heavier because it's all about, very clearly, of course, like the freedom, the liberation, sexual liberation, everything.
Yeah.
I sexual
totally
desire.
agree. I've never seen it that way, though. It's a fantastic way of seeing it. I love it.
Oh, shit. Thank you. Oh, my God. I did it right.
You did a thing.
I got an A, fuckers.
You're the professor. You can't get grades, Katie. We went over this. God.
Shit. God. You told... Whatever. You know what?
Whatever.
I was called in. I'm only used to being a
That's
student.
just your line. I was called in.
I was called in 10 minutes ago, okay?
We started like an hour ago. Oh, it's been 24 minutes. I have no concept of time.
Yeah, look at us go. We did a little test episode at some point.
And it didn't go as swell as this.
It went 53 minutes long. I thought that was fun. I don't know. I had a great time.
I thought it was really fun. We had no concept of time, though.
We'll release it sometime.
Maybe. If people ask for it.
Maybe our producers will. Yeah. If you guys want extra credit, ask for it.
That's it. Yeah. You'll get it. The extra credit, the bonus for it, is the episode.
Yeah. That. Also, I would like to point out to all wonderful listeners, all of the rumbling you hear is thunder outside of my window. Because I'm not in a studio, because I am not successful yet.
Because I just graduated college.
That's right. But anyway, back to the movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
It definitely gets progressively... No, I wouldn't say darker. Like, I don't think darker is the word for it, because it's a very lively film.
Yes.
But it definitely gets, like,
serious
progressively...
tones.
Yeah, like, in between the laughs, in between the hilarious quips, there's very, very like sad things I have to think about. Like Frankenfurter to me is a very sad character
heartbreak.
at the end.
For sure.
Especially like to me, like the breaking point for him is when he turns everybody into statues. Because they're not going along to what he wants, so he turns them all into statues and they can't move. He uses the Medusa ray.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you about that. Because I don't know what to tell them about that. I personally was a little confused, so maybe you can enlighten all of us with that.
You were confused about like how the ray works?
Just why
he does it?
Not that. Yeah, could you explain the scientific technology about how that worked out? Why Medusa? Why did they include that? Because that is one part I did miss.
I mean, I think it's partly just like Frankenfurter is supposed to be like an insanely smart, successful scientist. You know, he is the mad scientist of the film, and obviously because he's alien, he has alien technology. And part of it is this Medusa ray, and the reason for him using it is fully because none of these people who he's brought into his home are playing out the way he wanted them to. Like, he had a very specific plan for what he wanted everybody to say. You know, Dr. Scott wasn't supposed to show up. He didn't want him there. Eddie wasn't supposed to get out, which is why he kills him. Spoiler.
Right. Haha.
And, you know, after having, like, you know, sexual relations with both Brad and Janet, he didn't expect them to just turn on him, and then Rocky turns on him as well. Columbia, who's like this faithful servant who's super in love with him, turns on him again. Like, not again, he turns on him at the end. So it's very much like he's trying to have so much fun, and all of a sudden all of his little pieces that he's been playing with to have fun with turn on him, and he didn't expect that to happen.
Right.
So he Medusa rays them. The Medusa ray is just supposed to be like, you know, the reference to like, oh, them turning into stone, like when Medusa would look at people.
I got that. Right.
Yeah, no. And it's just like I've never understood why exactly they went for a Medusa ray. I think it was just supposed to be funny, and it's a part of like the campy elements of the film. It's like the bold letters that say Medusa and him just going Kirk.
Okay. Yeah.
Did that explain what the confusion was around it?
I think so. I think long story short, it was for like more story comedic pieces of it. And it's like there's some meaning, because like what you said with like, you know, like no one was respected, like nothing was turning out the way he wanted it to, so he just stopped everything, right, to have that control, I guess.
Which is why he has that line, which like to me it always breaks. Like every time I hear that line, him saying that line, like I feel his downfall about to come. Like it's the climax of the character for me, is when he says, he's talking about not having fun and like how hard it is to have fun, because everything turns out bad when you're having fun. Wait, I'm gonna look it up professionally.
Oh,
I
she's
can't
a professional
remember.
over here. Look out, everybody.
Yeah, that's right. I'm professional. I know how to Google things.
Film school. All right, while you're being professional, I'm gonna eat a Starburst into the microphone.
Here it is. It's not easy having a good time. Which is a very, like, to me, it's a sad line how he says that, you know, it's supposed to be a little funny because it's like, it's not easy having a good time. Because he wants to have a good time, but doesn't mean everybody else around him wants to have a good time the way he does. And that's part of the whole lead up into him living this life of excess and not realizing that he's pulling all of these people with him and expecting them to follow freely and without hesitation. So when they do hesitate, he freezes them because, you know, even from creating Rocky, you know, it was him taking control over his fun. Like, he wants a very specific type of man, and that's the man he's gonna get because he wants to have fun. And
do you? Oh no,
no, that was it. That was it. I was just gonna say, and when it doesn't turn out the way he wants, he has to, you know, stop everything and dress them up so that they'll do what he wants.
When you think about that, like all the words that you just said and me listening to that sounds exactly like how the straight community was always kind of acted towards them.
Oh,
like if you flip. If you know what I mean? Like, he's, like, Frank's thing is all about being free, right? Like, he's the whole, like, you know, the opposite. But if, like, the description of everything you just said is basically how the rest of, I don't know how to word it. I guess you'd say, like straight part of society. That,
like the norm of society was treating those things.
And how they treated how they acted and treated and, you know, they wanted everyone to dress the same, you know what I mean, and interested in the same, be as exactly as this, you know, followed this way. It's just kind of the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But that's what he was doing. And I felt that way when I was watching the movie too a little bit, because I was like more towards the end, I guess, at the Medusa Ray part. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's a really interesting thing. I think that, to me, that says a lot.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. The other thing is, like, I could never see Frankenfurter standing in for, like, that, because he's such, like, a, you know, insanely liberated character. You know, he is the sweet transvestite. Like, that's his introduction. That's his deal. The thing I always kind of took it as, and, like, the first time I watched the movie, I remember kind of being completely, like, just mind-boggled at, like, what was the ending? Like, what did it mean? Does it mean that what he was doing was okay, or that it wasn't okay? Like, is there supposed to be, like, a right or wrong in the movie? Or is it just supposed to be? And I started looking up interviews with Richard O'Brien talking about it. And most of it, he said, like, from what I can remember, this was a long time ago, but from what I can remember, he says, like, mainly it was something made for fun. But also there's, and this is not me, like, quoting what Richard O'Brien said, it's just me saying my opinion now. Like, this is apart from the Richard O'Brien research I did some years ago. Like, what I kind of thought of it when I saw it was that it was meant to tell you, like, you know, you should have fun and you should enjoy yourself, but you have to know what's going to happen once you cross over to a limit where, like, all you want is that, and you're not even thinking about the people around you. Right. Which is what we were talking about before we started recording. Katie and I were talking about how the 70s was a very instrumental time for kind of establishing what the new norm was going to be. Since the 60s was all, you know, wild, free, willy-nilly, let's do whatever we want.
Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah. The 70s was a little more about, like, reining all of that in, all that fun that was had in the previous decade, and being like, okay, how are we going to integrate it in a way where, like, everyone is, you know, kind of, like, okay with everything that's going on. Like, even if you don't agree with a certain lifestyle, like, you can accept that that is a lifestyle that's valid. So to me, like, that was always that drawing of the line where, like, you know, Magenta and Riff Raff come from the same place and think very similarly to Frankenfurter as far as, like, having fun and their idea of having fun, but they abide to, like, you know, their rules, or kind of, like, their mission, I guess. Well, Furter just wanted to, you know, do whatever he wanted, no consequences. So to me, it was always kind of like a cautionary tale of, like, you know, be careful when you're having fun, because you never know when you're just going to hurt people and then end up hurting yourself in the process.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but that was usually the interpretation I get of the movie is that when I watch it.
I love that interpretation, because frankly, I waited, like, I kind of, okay, so I watched it a week ago, and I try to, like, I usually just have to, like, sit with a film afterwards, especially when it makes I don't know, to me it felt like heavy, like, not heavy in a bad way, but, like, big statements, because it is, you know. And when I was sitting with it, I never came to a conclusion. I really didn't. I was so excited to hear yours, because I needed clarification. I didn't want to look anything up completely, just because I'm like, you know, I'd rather just kind of explore and talk about it. But I think exactly what you said, which sounds really stupid and lame, but that sounds just like how I would interpret it as well. It's like the best bet.
I think it's definitely, like, one valid enough interpretation, and I know that sounds, like, vague because it's my interpretation.
But I agree with it, so now we have two on that.
Yes. And then there's always the third option of the ending, which to me is that, like, it's scary to me, because I feel weird when I can't, like, assign meaning to something sometimes. Like, I'll be like, oh shit, I can't tell you what that was about. That was just about it being it. But it's also cool. Like, I like seeing stuff like that, because it challenges me to just be okay with it. Because the ending, like, the last lines of the last songs of the movie is called Superheroes, and it's sung by Brad, Janet, and the narrator. And I think Dr. Scott too. Because the house, the mansion, the Frankenstein place was a spaceship, and Magenta and
Right.
Riff Raff take it to go back to transsexual in the galaxy of Transylvania. I love saying that sentence. Which leaves, you know, our hero or heroine and the scientist, professor, actually, I think, yes. Just, you know, wearing wearing corsets and fishnets and, you know,
Yo, it's
super strong
wild.
makeup, just
Right.
completely battered and beaten, and they have dust all over because the house left all of this dust.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're just kind of singing. They're very distraught about, like, you know, Superheroes is meant to be this song about them being just kind of lost and dealing with the fact that they have to go back to reality now and thinking, like, was this real? Did this mean anything to us? And the last lines of that song are, it's the narrator saying it, and crawling on the planet's face, some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space and meaning. And then the crowd goes, meaning.
Ooh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Can you sing that again? I didn't hear it the
Bars.
first time.
Meaning.
Nice. Ooh,
Thank you.
I want an encore.
Yeah. What can I say?
Thank you for that.
Musical talents.
You
But
got
yeah.
him, baby.
That is that's the last line of the show, and it's of the movie at least. And it's very much like up in the air. Like, did this mean anything? Was this meant to mean anything? Or are you a tiny insect just lost in time and space trying to figure out meaning in things for no reason? Like
Like
I feel
me.
like every relatable. I feel like anywhere you put it, it's a valid way of interpreting it because it's such an open movie. Like, it lets you have so much fun with it, and that's one of the little quirks and enjoyable aspects of the movie. It's that there's no one way of looking at it. Like, you can look at Rocky Horror and think 1,000 things, and they would probably all be valid things concerning
Yes.
the movie because it has so many alleys that you can go down with.
Yeah.
And I think that like, I'm jumping into another point now because tangents. But I think that's one of the aspects that makes it such a easily resonating and, you know, cool cult movie. Like, I feel like that's why it gains such a following because it's just fun. Like, if you want to have fun by making it a philosophical argument and by going into a very deep hole of just like introspection, you can do that. But if you just want to dance and put on fishnets and have a blast,
Dance.
you can just do that. And I feel like that really makes it easy for a movie to, you know, gain a cult following of people who just relate to it for whatever reason, and they just enjoy it. It's an enjoyable movie. Like, that to me is just the peak description of Rocky Horror. It's just an enjoyable movie.
I love that. That is extra. Oh, that was good. That was
yeah.
good, Malu.
Communication.
Professor Malu.
Professor
That was a
Malu.
fake accent. I'm making new accents. That's
You
what's...
have to call me professor. I worked for that PhD.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So that's
Tell
a
'em.
Bachelor of Arts student.
Yeah, I really like that.
Oh my god,
about
wait,
the film. You
wait,
just-
wait, no. I'm sorry, my headphone fell. I'm so sorry, class.
I talked trash about you for 5 seconds.
For like a millisecond.
That's right.
Good. That's what
And
I
you'll
wanted.
never know what it is.
I know what you said. I know everything.
Oh shit. Well, all right. Fine.
Yeah.
You can have fun. You can look at it super crazy deep like I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's, yeah, you're right. Like, it is the perfect cult movie.
Yeah.
That's it. Bottom line. Perfect cult movie. So, yeah, I think, I believe you have a game made up for this, right?
Oh, I do. I have a little game that I thought up when I was watching the movie.
Queen.
Yes. As I was watching the movie a week ago, much like Katie, we watched it on the same day, different times because we can't stand each other.
Yeah, I fucking hate her. She's the worst. I never want to hug her again in my life.
Okay, we're in different countries. Calm down. You don't need to even be in the same vicinity as me. As I was watching the movie, because I have been a fan of the movie since I think like 4 years ago. I became aware of it and just fell in love with it immediately. I know almost all the little like costumes and little, I guess, traditions of watching the movie or the show.
Traditions. lines?
So as I was watching the movie, I was following along with the little traditions, saying the lines that people say in the quiet spaces of the movie. And I thought, hey, Katie is a Rocky Horror virgin.
That's me, the virgin.
For her to be fully, inducted into the Rocky Horror family, fandom, cult following, group, community, she should be tested. And she should get a proper Rocky education of Rocky rituals.
Do it, babe.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is just ask Katie a few questions and give her options of just what people will say in the show or what people will use as props in the show. If you've seen the show or are familiar with it, you can play along. If you don't, you can also play along and try and guess.
Everyone try and guess with me because I'm... play against me. Yeah, that's the activity right now in class.
If you beat Katie, you get a virtual lollipop from the professors. Maybe a cookie if you're good.
Yeah, the professors.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds spooky and I like it. All right. Cool. All right.
Okay.
With it.
Let's do it. Round one. So, Katie and listeners, participants.
Also, a thunder cracked when you said, all right, and then it went boom.
I am the daughter of Suze. I am magical like that. Rick Riordan is looking for me actively.
I love him.
Me too.
Okay.
Uncle Rick's the best. That's what the fandom calls him. I call him that. I feel comfortable in that statement.
That's good. You should. I would.
I think we all should.
All right, game time.
Okay, so, Katie, I'm going to give you 3 options for the names that the crowd is to call Brad and Janet whenever their names are mentioned. So whenever the names Brad or Janet are mentioned, the crowd responds with 2 words for each name. They each have one. Here are the options.
All right.
Option number 1, dude and dudette. That's right, it's the feminine version of dude, if you were wondering.
Right, thank you.
Option number 2, asshole and slut.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah. And option number 3, bastard and bitch.
Oh my god. Hello?
Oh, it's supposed to be insulting. You're not supposed. Yeah, they're lame, Brad and Janet.
I'm gonna say option number 3. I'm gonna say bastard and bitch.
So when people say I'm Brad Majors, the crowd goes bastard, and when she says I'm Janet Weiss, the crowd goes bitch. Is that what you're going with?
I would just love to scream bitch in a movie theater. I'm gonna go with it.
Well, I think we would all wish to scream bitch in a movie theater, but sadly, you're incorrect.
Yeah,
it is option number 2, ladies and gentlemen, asshole and slut.
Shit.
Brad Majors, the asshole, and Janet Weiss, the slut.
Aww.
Especially after Touch Me with Rocky, where she fully becomes a slut. Just kidding. Just kidding. We don't slut shame Janet Weiss in this podcast.
That's why I didn't. That's why.
That's why you didn't like it.
I didn't like that at all. I was like, oh, don't slut shame.
It's meant to be endearing when it comes to Janet.
That's fair.
You're not supposed to. You don't. Janet is Janet, but let's say it's endearing.
Janet,
because we don't slut shame Janet Weiss in this podcast.
Anytime I hear Janet, I just think of The Good Place. Janet.
Nice.
Hello.
I love Janet.
All right.
Also, really like when I don't know if you before a little break here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you noticed in the movie when it's one of my favorite moments in the entire film when Brad and Janet introduce themselves to Frankenfurter for the first time. Brad introduces Janet as Janet Weiss, and she says Weiss. She says, "Yeah, Janet Weiss." And to me, it's one of the most cleverest pieces of writing. That was wrong grammatically, but one of the most cleverest pieces of writing in the movie. Because it's a foreshadowing of them falling for, like, the vices of, sex with Furter. It's foreshadowing of the fact that, like, this very moment is the beginning of, like, their quote-unquote downfall from, like, squares to absolute sex maniacs.
Wow. I didn't... Wow.
It's one of my favorite gems in that movie.
See? These they're...
It ages like fine wine. You just gotta keep watching it.
There are so many layers.
The more you watch it, the number you become to, like, the weird parts of the movie. Like, you just get used to them. You're like, yeah, that's the reality of the film.
That's so sick. Oh, I want to go to one of these. All right.
Okay, so
let's go.
Round number 2. Katie's currently at 0 out of 3.
Thanks. I hope you guys are doing better than I am. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
the second one. What are the props that are used or usually handed in the theater. Sometimes theaters will give you a little packet for your props for the viewing. What are the props used for the song Over at the Frankenstein Place? In case you can remember, this is the part in the movie or the show where Brad and Janet, asshole slut, gets stranded because their tire pops and the replacement one is also not good. So they have to walk in the rain all the way to the Frankenstein place. And then they talk about the light in the Frankenstein place and getting there, and then they knock on the door and Riff Raff opens. Yeah. It's a good one.
Dragged on.
So here's the list of props. Number 1, water guns, newspapers, and flashlights or lighters. Number 2, rice and bread. Number 3, fake wedding rings, miniature car tires, and newspapers.
Wait, what's the premise of these again?
Oh, okay. Gonna have to repeat that.
Yeah, wait, okay.
So
they
here's the
use
thing.
these props
You're a virgin. I have to
song.
explain these things to you.
Yeah, hello? I don't know how it works.
Okay, so when people go to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, or just the Rocky Horror Show if you're doing the stage version, different names, you'll normally have a little kit. You either bring yourself or the theater provides it. That's always nice. Of props you will use in different parts of the show. Sometimes you even get instructions of when to use them.
Got it.
So specific songs, specific scenes, specific lines,
Yes.
you know, bring about the use of a prop. So Over at the Frankenstein Place is one of the songs that has, I would say, some of my favorite props in the entire musical.
Oh, alright, I'm gonna take that into this answer then.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm just
so
gonna
do
need
you
to
need me to
repeat
give
them
you
one more time.
Okay, so option number 1 for props used in Over at the Frankenstein Place. Water guns, newspapers,
Hell yeah.
flashlights, and or lighters.
Okay, that's like exactly the scene, so I feel like it has to go wilder than that.
Okay.
So let's continue.
Option number 2, rice and bread.
You say
Rice.
rice and bread?
Yeah, like the food items. The ones
Oh
you
my
eat.
god. Okay.
And number 3, fake wedding rings, miniature car tires, and newspapers.
Fuck.
I'm currently giving Katie some eyebrows. We're looking at each other, just
Yeah,
we're having a little stare down to see who cracks first.
Yeah.
But it won't be me because I know the answer.
I'm going, haha. Alright. We're just gonna throw it. What the fuck? Why would it be rice and bread? That's so random. I have no. Alright. Ready? Alright. I'm gonna go with. Should I just do the obvious one, you guys? I have to find. What the fuck? I'm gonna go with rice and bread just because I'm so confused by it.
Once again, Katie, you're incorrect.
Son of a bitch! God damn it!
Rice and bread are used in another part of the musical. The rice.
It's in the. Is it?
The wedding. Yes, it is in the wedding scene. They use at the beginning. Remember the movie opens with a wedding.
They throw rice.
Yeah,
probably.
you throw rice and the bread.
Stupid.
I'm forgetting which line uses
I'm a
bread.
college graduate.
You're a college graduate. The real.
Okay, wait.
correct
Can I guess
answer.
from
From
these
the other
two?
two, yeah, sure. I'm gonna give you a pass. I'll give you half a point if you get those.
All right. That's actually fair. I'm still gonna go with the less obvious one. I'm going with 3. Option
Fake
3.
wedding rings, miniature car tires, and newspapers. You're incorrect.
Yes.
It's the most obvious answer. Water guns, newspapers, flashlights, and or lighters. Usually lighters are the more fun version, I would say.
What the goddamn shit?
Okay, Chris, here's the
Why?
thing. The props are usually meant to be more for reenacting or being physically kind of part of it as well. So, when it's raining in the movie, you make it rain yourself with the water
that's so
gun.
cool.
You cover and if it's staged, you make it rain on the stage, which can be dangerous, which is why you use water guns because they're tiny, so it's not like big damage on the stage or on the actors. The newspapers to cover yourself, like Brad and Janet use them. And then the lighters are supposed to be just like to shine light and just sway along to the song. It's really fun.
I wanted it to be that answer the whole time.
And
And here
another one
God
bites
damn
the
it.
dust.
All right, so you know what?
So
because
0
I
out of
was so
3.
stupid.
Yeah.
No. Subtract half a point from me. I have negative half point. I have negative 0.5 points.
You heard
I
it
hope
here
you
first,
all are
ladies and
doing
gents.
better than me.
If they don't,
you're-
they'll be disappointed.
If you're not doing better than me, you have an F.
Oh my god. You have an F. I give
All
you
right.
an F.
Hey. Remember, I can't get grades. You just said that. And I'm eating Starburst because I'm angry.
Oh, okay. That's the usual reaction to anger.
Next question.
Okay, the next and final question. Let's see if Katie manages to get this one. I chose this one because I think it's one of the most basic Rocky traditions. And I love it dearly. I love doing it every time I watch the movie. In the song Sweet Transvestite, which is the song that we are introduced to Frankenfurter with, it's such a blast. What do people say when Frankenfurter says the line, "I see you shiver with anticipation"? You wait for 3 seconds. Patient. This is the question. Understandable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
I had a really dumb look on my face.
Okay, so
But yes, I
what
get that.
does the audience say in that little space of silence in between antissa and patient? Option number 1, that's not a full word. Option number 2, you gonna finish that? And option number 3, that's my accent coming out strong. Option number 3, say it. I can sing all of them with it if you want to taste them and test them. Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna get in my best Frankenfurter mood.
Oh my god,
I
we have a
can't.
Malu
He's
show.
my hero.
Let's do the Malu show again.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I'm down. I like that.
Yeah, alright.
I see you shiver with antissa. That's not a full word. Patient.
Ooh.
Option number 2. I see you shiver with antissa. You gonna finish that? Patient.
Oh, that's got a good ring.
Yeah, it's got a good ring to it. Or option number 3. I see you shiver with antissa. Say it. Patient. What's it gonna be, Katie? You've got literally nothing to lose. You are negative points. This will get you pretty much nowhere.
I really like the second one's ring. I'm gonna go with option number 2.
Option number 2, you gonna finish that? Well, Katie, you finished the quiz, and you finished it at a negative score because that is incorrect.
Wow, you really bumped me up. I was like, oh my god, I did it. I got the last one. I hate myself. I'm gonna...
I'm so
I should
sorry,
quit.
Katie, but...
Yeah, what is it?
It's fine, because you are a Rocky Virgin. Or you were.
Well,
the correct answer is number 3. Say it.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. The first time you went over them, I was like, it's definitely number 3. But then you sang them, and I'm like, oh, the second one was cool.
See, I gotta say, when I came up, because for our listeners, and Katie, you heard me doing this when we were writing all of this down, but
Yes.
I made up the incorrect answers, because, this isn't like a quiz online, like I made them up.
Smart as hell.
And when I typed down, you gotta finish that, I really liked it, and I am kind of upset that I wasn't there to set this trend. But I also hold very deeply in my heart the phrase, say it, every time I watch the movie, just screaming out, say it! It really is liberating.
I can feel the power when you said that.
That's right.
And also, I think that you should feel extremely more confident in all of your writing skills, because even though I'm stupid, you fooled me.
I fooled you.
Hopefully you fooled,
other viewers, other listeners. I keep saying viewers like you can see us, but you can't.
One day, maybe they can.
Oh.
Scary. We'll talk about that later.
Scary thought. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, that was it for the game. Yeah.
Wow. Round of
Katie
applause
lost
for
miserably.
Minus half point. That hurts. If you all... Oh, actually, you know what? This is what you gotta do. We have to know what... No, I want to know what you guys did. So, for class participation grade, please send back exactly what your score was compared to mine. So, you know,
Yeah.
0.5, negative 0.5 to hopefully 2.
And
Don't
Kitty,
beat me that bad with 3. Okay.
Kitty, where
that's all
can
I'm
they
saying.
send this information?
Send this information to apfilm@gmail.com. Or
yeah.
you will comment on our Instagram, which we will plug in later because
in
we haven't made it
development.
yet, but we'll plug it in at the end of the episode. But we
gonna
will
happen.
absolutely,
Yeah.
please give us feedback on exactly where.
Please
where you
brag
were.
and how much better you did than Katie.
Please, come on, ruin me, ruin me. You can hear this.
Destroy her.
You know you want to.
Finish her.
So, for your participation grade, you must do that. Anyway,
So, Katie, what are we
Next-
missing for today? What's the next thing in the agenda?
And another little corner we have in these wild episodes we carry, Culture Corner. Because I, a small Pennsylvania girl, don't know anything about the world, and here I am, best friends with a wonderful, beautiful girl in Panama. So please
right.
teach me some Spanish because I didn't study Spanish in high school. That wasn't what I did, of course.
That's perfectly fine. That's why I'm here. That's why I've been put in your path.
Yes. Teach me.
So, for today's Culture Corner, we've chosen two lines, two of my favorite lines from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is near the end, where Magenta and Frankenfurter are having a conversation about returning to Transylvania.
Nice.
Magenta says, "I asked for nothing," and Frank says, "And you shall receive it in abundance." And I love that line.
Abundance.
So we're gonna translate that into Spanish for Katie to say.
Let's go.
So
I'm gonna
I asked for
embarrass
nothing.
myself.
The phrase "I asked for nothing," yo no pido nada.
Holy shit.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
yo
Yo
no
no
pido
pido
nada.
nada.
Yo no pido nada.
Yo no pido nada.
Yeah, that was good. That was good, Katie. You did it. You did.
Oh my god.
And then Frank responds with, "And you shall receive it in abundance." And now, in Spanish, "Y lo recibirás en abundancia."
my heart fluttered.
That sounded so like telenovela.
Wow.
And it's meant to. It's that campy telenovela style of dialogue, and I love
It felt so good when you said that. You don't understand. I got butterflies. Do it.
Okay.
Do it again.
Y lo
Before I butcher
recibirás
it.
en abundancia.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Do you want
That
to say
was
that one, or do you
gorgeous.
just want to stick with the magenta line, and we can have a little
Oh.
reenactment right here? In the
Yes, let's do that because I'll just.
Yeah.
It won't sound
Okay.
good if I
Say
do
the
it.
magenta line and action.
Whoa, what's...
You
can
didn't even
you,
remember.
One more time. No. Wait, it's something with Nala at the end. I need it again.
Yo
Yo?
no
No.
pido.
With an L or an N?
Pido. Pido.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Pido
Nada.
Nala.
Yeah. You got it.
Oh, okay, that was very... Wait, I forget the middle part. Joe...
No.
No. Joe no pido Nala.
Yes. You got it.
Joe no... Okay, that's as simple as it gets. Okay, ready?
Yeah. And action.
Yo no pido Nala.
Y lo recibirás en abundancia. And
Adios
cut.
mio.
I really try to give it the Tim Curry Frankenfurter flair.
That was fantastic. That was so good. Did I say...
You said it correctly.
What was the... Is that the right, like, not accent, but the way I should have said it?
Oh, you mean like... Yeah, I know what you mean.
The flow.
Yeah.
What's the flow of it?
It really depends on your accent, honestly. Like, people from
How would
different
you say
countries
it?
will say it. I would say, yo no pido nada.
Yo no pido nada.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody.
did
So
it.
there you go. Basically what this is Duolingo for the film movies we do.
Yeah, for
I just said
Duolingo
the
for
film
films.
movies. It's great. It's really great. That's good.
If there's a phrase in the
Haha.
movie you guys want for Jennifer... Oh,
Oh,
we haven't...
you want- Malu, you're the owl. You're the owl of Duolingo.
the little Duolingo owl, just
Oh
waiting for
my-
you to learn a different language.
Yeah. Have you done your...
You practice your
what-
Spanish.
Have you practiced your Spanish today?
But in all
I'm
seriousness,
losing it.
if you guys want to put in lines that you would like to see translated into Spanish
Yeah.
from our next movies that are to come in the rest of the course, please
Yes.
tell us in our socials, which will be dropped later when they exist.
Yes, that's true. But in the meantime, of our the podcast one, we don't have that, but we do have our own personal ones. So you can follow me, which is Katie Kametz. You can follow me on Instagram, which is just at Katie Kametz. Technically, it's at Katie Cat, but don't worry about that. Just search me out as Katie Kametz. I have the link to my short film that I did that I mentioned. I do not have the one that's the Academy Award winning one, which I will eventually get that one when we release it publicly. But in the meantime, please watch mine, because I'm trying to make it out there.
Yes.
Thanks. Malu?
And you can find me as well on Instagram under the username Malu Mirones.
Yes.
That is Mirones. I hate saying it with a States English accent, so I'm not going to do that.
Don't.
And I don't
Who
have any
needs
links
them?
to anything, but I do have pictures, and I think maybe a link to my art account, so you can see that too.
Yes. Look at it, please. It's beautiful. She's gorgeous. Her
you,
art
Katie.
is gorgeous.
God.
Oh my god. I
Positivity.
can't get enough of it. And
God,
her
I
stories.
can't get enough of you. Stop it.
I can't get enough of it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Okay, that's it. We're done.
All right, we gotta cut this. We gotta cut.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
Okay, this has been AP Film by Film School Professionals.
And thank you for coming to class. We will see you next week for Jennifer's Body. And welcome to the Cult Classic Marathon. Here we go.
That was fantastic.
Here we go. Goodbye.
Here you go. Goodbye. Adios.
That was weird.
See you later.
Adios. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, but I
was-
said it in the
whatever.
right language.
Incredible. One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second.
Oh, this has taken a weird turn, but
Yep.
thank you for the Spanish.
I'm sorry you guys had to listen to more than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Top Gallant Radio, brought to you by Daniel Gonzalez and Gabe Mara.